The arid dust storms swirled outside Merritt's habitat dome, obscuring the last fading rays of the gas giant Tantalus on the horizon. Another cycle spent confined to these sparse prefab modules, barely keeping the settlers alive on this inhospitable world. But today, Merritt welcomed the isolation. She sat gazing at a photo of her infant daughter, Letta, who laughed brightly within the image's frozen moment. It was one of the few items she had brought when they fled their doomed homeworld, hoping to build a new life here, one no longer possible. A few weeks after planetfall, a mysterious plague swept through the children of the settlement, killing them within days. No cause could be found. No cure stemmed the crushing tide. Communications with the home government on the months-long journey, leaving them tools and resources but utterly alone out here. In the end, 90% of the settlement's youth population had perished, Letta among them. For those who remained, the future looked unspeakably bleak. Some in the community refused to accept what they deemed a senseless massacre of the innocent. They turned to religion, clinging to the belief it was some divine test, a trial on the way to their true promised land. Merritt felt only a cold, hollow rage at the sheer randomness of Letta's death. The universe did not have reasons or meaning for such things. She noticed for the first time the creeping silence in the prefab hallways, absent the usual shrieks of children at play that once echoed within. Adults now spoke little, only basic necessities. A heavy pall smothered them all. Merritt heard whispers that some families were expecting again, replacements for those they had lost. She pitied any child born now, into this place of death where even hope felt endangered. They had sacrificed everything on the promise of life renewed. But the cold stars above offered no salvation. In the absence of answers, divisions formed among the survivors. Some still clung to faith in divine purpose. Others raged at the cruel indifference of the universe. Merritt threw herself into work, tirelessly modifying habitat infrastructure so they might yet build a permanent settlement here, even if only a diminished, hollow version of their intended new home. Late one night, an explosion tore through the primary dome, killing dozens. Sabotage, but by whom? The zealots blamed non-believers who pointed fingers back. Accusations flew that the dissidents deliberately murdered children to force the faithful into line, or that fanatics caused the explosion to ignite a holy war. Blood beget blood. Each round of violence prompted reprisals until none could separate truth from doctrine. The promised new beginning collapsed into chaos. On the darkest day, as fires raged through the ruptured domes, Merritt wandered aimlessly through the wreckage, the photo of her lost Letta still clutched in one hand. Whatever good their efforts could achieve here had been shattered beyond all repair, leaving nothing but a slag heap of broken dreams and unspeakable loss. The cold stars still glimmered above, indifferent, but in the smoldering rubble, Merritt glimpsed figures digging urgently for survivors with their bare hands. Not divided by creed or ideology, simply people united in shielding life. In them, Merritt saw a glint of Letta's laughter echoing again. Not every bond was yet severed. As the survivors tended wounds and grieved losses together, Merritt realized no external force had destroyed them. When faced with unfathomable tragedy, they chose whether to let it poison their souls. Life likely held further darkness and trials ahead, but perhaps some bonds still tied them, faint strands but strong enough to lead them through the night.